Good morning and welcome to The Point. It is Thursday, April 15th, 2021. Thank you to those of you joining us on the GBN, Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network's YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV, channel 7, 11, and 20. Good morning to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9, as well as the folks joining us on the Party Grenada and Go to FET Facebook pages. Now, this morning's program is about relief efforts for our brothers and sisters on the neighboring island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I was about to say Sister Island. We can call them Sister Island. And joining me virtually this morning is the Public Relations Officer of the National Disaster Management Agency, Oslyn, Crosby. And she's here to give us some information as to how we can continue to support and some of the procedures to be followed in terms of contributions being brought in to be shipped off to St. Vincent. It may be a shortened program as Ms. Crosby may be called away at short notice considering the events that are unfolding in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but we'll keep her as long as we possibly can until such time that she is called away. So good morning, Ms. Crosby.
Good morning, Blossom. Good morning to all your viewers and listeners. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity and at the time to share again on this very important relief effort that we are conducting here in Grenada for SVG.
Always a pleasure, and I'm grateful that you can be able to spare us some minutes to tell us about the relief efforts. So before we get into the relief, do you have any updates, the latest updates re the La Soufrière eruption and what's taking place overnight?
Well, the last thing I know we would have received, I saw some information this morning from the situation.
Sorry, Ms. Crosby, your video just went off. I'm not sure
It just
why.
went off?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
So we got some information this morning. Is it back now?
Yes, there we go. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we did get some information this morning, situation report from yesterday. We did have another eruption at about 11:45 yesterday morning in St. Vincent. Also seen reports from Dr. Robertson saying that it is their hope, and I think it is the expectation of the entire region, that this volcano is going to go back to sleep sooner rather than later. But as it relates to a timeline that will happen, that of course continues to be nature's call. And we know that is not a call that we can slow down, we cannot anticipate, we just have to sit down there and wait. But outside of that, numbers in shelters seem to have increased. I'm seeing some 4,000 plus people in shelters now, in over 80 plus government shelters that are activated. So yes, the numbers are increasing. And a number of people have been, I know most of the people out of the red and orange zones have been evacuated and now are safely in shelters. But it means, therefore, that with that comes the need to ensure that they are comfortable and that we can take care of them, that they have the supplies that they need. And you must also commend, because I remember Dr. Gonzalez would have also made a call to his own people to house the people that may not have places to go. There was a call, I remember, for the homeless, that whether or not how you can assist them. And there seem to have been a number of private homes that have taken in their family members or so, friends in some of the affected areas. So it means that St. Vincent, they're doing their part now, and we now have to also play ours. And Blossom, we know that if it's one thing, we never not answer a call. We always answer the call whenever it comes to us, relief, assisting our brothers and sisters, as it always helps us in what we do. So we continue to do so. That's according to the updates out of St. Vincent. We are praying, we are hoping that things will return to normal, but along with it, we know what is the reality. With this, the cost will be astronomical in getting them back to where they were before La Soufrière. The cleanup, the destruction, a number of homes were damaged. We also got reports of that. The weight of the ash on some people's roofs. A lot of roofs would have caved in. And of course, we still don't know what the next course of action of the volcano will be. So we continue to wait. Have not heard of any eruptions for today as yet. But we are hoping that this would soon be over. But in the meantime, we wait and prepare and give our best as relates to keeping people comfortable.
I was heartened to see the way Grenadians responded to the call for relief efforts. Since we've sent out the call and people have come forward, what has it been like in terms of the numbers, the supplies that are being shipped out, and what else do we need?
Blossom, should I say that I'm surprised? I'm not. If I'm going to, and I would continue to use Dominica as my yardstick in measuring our people and how we respond to relief efforts. For my time in NaDMA in 2017, when we had the Dominica relief after Irma, when you saw how people contributed and were always there, just ensuring that we can give back and we ensure that we help those in need. This time around, I am not surprised. I am not surprised. And it is pouring in. And Blossom I'm not going to compare how people are responding, but with St. Vincent being closer than Dominica was, we gave out our souls to Dominica when that time came around in 2017. And right now, I think we are giving ourselves, it's like a complete now, because St. Vincent is even closer. The traditional ties that we have with SVG, and I think it is safe to say what you said this morning when you said sister island. It is safe to say so. Carriacou and Petit Martinique, they almost form part of the Grenadine Islands. They are so close. I mean, the borders, how could we dispute this? So yes, and we are giving. Yesterday I saw Flo would have sent off some 9,000 cases of water to St. Vincent. We have containers that are leaving here via tropical shipping to go off to St. Vincent today. We have the boats. Blossom, the support from the public has been remarkable. We cannot ask for better. We have people that are chartering their own vessels and sending up things to their family, even to people they don't know. And whenever they do that at their cost, they are extending a hand to the national agency. If there is anything that we need to send up, that somebody may need, the Rotary clubs or organized groups in Grenada. And what we are also seeing is the ties to, so the Port Authority in Grenada is ensuring that Port Authority in St. Vincent, their workers have what they need. Teachers are putting their supplies together and ensuring that the teachers in St. Vincent are taken care of. The Meteorological Office in Point Salines ensuring that the Met Office in St. Vincent is taken care of. So do we see what's happening here? The ties are very, very close. They are tight, and we are ensuring our schools. St. Joseph's Convent, I know, has an appeal out now for students to bring in items to assist the girls in the convent in St. Vincent. So we are working, and it's a hearty, hearty thank you that we extended the whole island for that. Just that superb response, helping our neighbors in their time of need. We cannot stop asking, because we know that the relief effort has only just begun. When it has ended, we will indicate, but the dire need for water is very, very important. Water as the stock. Right now, the supply is now dwindling within the system, because we know that there is no way for the CSWA to replenish that stock, because the rivers are heavily contaminated because of the ash. So water, a lot of it. Let's not stop going out there and purchasing the water. I know Mikey Live, and I must note him here, 2,000 plus cases of water that will be leaving the island today to head up to St. Vincent. To the people who have been calling us and asking for endorsement, the relief drives, we say thank you. We do say thank you. And what we are encouraging you to do is, and this morning I want to focus a lot on where you can drop off the stuff and how it is that you can get it to us. Because one of the challenges that we have noticed is that on Sunday, because we have that very small window and we were trying to accommodate to ensure that we get to send up some items back with that boat that came down on Sunday, we did make a call, the very small window to drop off, but people answered the call. On Sunday, you had to go to the port. That was a special case. What I want us to remember is that the port is a secure facility. And just as a citizen ordinarily, you have to go onto the port. We know that you must get special permission. Either you have to get a pass, and we know the security features that goes with our port facility. So As it relates to dropping off of items at the port is not a receiving station. The port is basically a transshipment point where you go to drop off things and they would leave. Yeah. So we would bring the items there. What we are encouraging to do is, if you have one of those big drop-offs to do, so let's say 50 cases of water to do, what we advise is that you call us. Call us at the office in 440-8390, 8391, or 8392, and we will tell you how best we'll be able to accommodate, whether or not you drop at the warehouse, or we tell you when to come and drop off, or drop off at NaDMA, and we, NaDMA, will be able to enter that secure facility to ensure that we can safely get it off. We cannot lose sight of the fact that we are still living in a pandemic and that the port facility is a secure facility. So we want us to let us try to work along with that. While yes, we know that we are assisting and we are grateful for it, we want you to continue to please drop in your items. Our point of drop off is the SSU camp, which is where we have a warehouse down at Point Celine. But you cannot make it down to SSU camp. Call us. We would figure out how we would get it from you and get it out of Grenada and into St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
What about financial contributions, as well as people who would want to send up packages for specific people? Because I had someone message me earlier this week and asking if they want to send them to family members. How can they organize to do that? Can they also organize through NaDMA, or can they go through a private organization, company, or person that may be going up to St. Vincent?
Personal packages, we are guided by NaDMA on this one. Because if I remember clearly, when we had the Dominica relief operation, when we started off, it was just general. We started off with national relief. So we were going straight to the Dominica Disaster Management Agency, because whenever we start going personal items, then we start complicating things. And if the Disaster Management Agency in the receiving country is not ready to be able to facilitate that, then we are always guided by them. From the instructions, from the information received from NaDMA, what we are still doing, we are still dealing with national. They will indicate to us when they can start accommodating personal items. But I know a number of other people, for people who would have chartered vessels and trying to get stuff, some of their items and so out to their family members. That is a separate arrangement. After all, that one is a private arrangement. We don't have any control over that one, right? But what we can tell you is, what we are trying to work out now, or clear with St. Vincent authorities, is that not of how you can come. The people with private vessels, whether or not you would. In Grenada, we have, and I know that was one of the conditions that were announced during the COVID pandemic, that cargo ships, once you're not disembarking, that you get to come to Grenada, you drop off what you drop off and you get to leave, right? And in that case, you did not have the to go through the testing requirement. After all, you're not disembarking. You're not mingling with anyone that system, that process. As it relates to what's happening on the St. Vincent end, since it is now, the country is now in a state of emergency, we cannot say for sure. I am awaiting confirmation on that from our health officials here. Once we do get that, then I can say that is what you would have to do. But as relates to the private arrangements, now on a national level, NaDMA, we are not doing private packages, and so now we are still going national. So everything that we collect goes to NaDMA, and NaDMA distributes to everybody on island.
And what about financial contributions? Is there an avenue for that?
Financial contributions, the account at Core Bank is what we normally use for financial contributions. It is a government account. When you put monies there, normally it will be transferred to the affected country or to organizations that you know will be able to purchase the items that is needed, that is badly needed. But all of that will form what, and I know I saw yesterday that government, no, it is confirmed that government will be doing $1 million contribution to St. Vincent. And that will include everything that's happening that we're giving. So it's going to be cash and everything, all the operations that we are doing. So it is going to be a major contribution as to what's happening. what we are doing out there in St. Vincent. But what I can tell you is that we are working, and as a country, as a people, we've been giving generously, and we ask that we continue. The things like the disinfectants, the toiletries, the things for the elderly adults, the dry food, and so people have been bringing them in, and we encourage you to do so. Also, water. I don't want us to ever lose sight of water. We also need some of the storage tanks. We asked for the 800 and the 1,000-gallon tanks. That is also badly needed. So you may have a couple in your yard that you're not using yet, and you want to donate one to St. Vincent. That I know one person would have dropped off one down at our warehouse. So yes, call us when you have those big items and those big deliveries. Ask how it is how best we can facilitate. We will tell you what to do, because remember, the port is still a secure facility, and we need to control who goes in and out. And remember, it is not a drop-off point for relief items. Not now. On Sunday, it was a special case. And unless instructed, when you call the office on 440-8390, you're told that you meet us there, then it means that we also have to get the clearance from port authorities so that you can enter. So it's important that you contact us when you have those big items or the bulk items to deliver, so that we can ensure that we facilitate and that we get it to St. Vincent, as they do need it now.
Somebody on the YouTube channel is inquiring, if you are outside of Grenada and want to help, how can you do that?
If you're outside of Grenada and you want to help, how can you do that? It may be easier, one, if you do the transfer on the core bank account. That information, I'm still waiting on the confirmation on the activation of your account. Once we get that, we will share the account information, and so you can go there and you can do transfers, be it online, or I know a number of people, I have heard a number of cases like this, a number of people living in the US, and so they've been sending the monies to families in Grenada to purchase. I know somebody would have purchased some 50 cases of water on a Monday. Money is received from family in the US, and not one person. So one person would have teamed up with others and would have collected monies and would have purchased some 50 cases of water that was dropped off at our warehouse and will be going up to St. Vincent, that shipment that will be leaving Grenada today via tropical shipping. So you can also do that. If you know you have a trusted friend or family here in Grenada, you can also do that. It's dependent on what it is that you're trying to do. If you want to get the actual items to them, because as it relates to supplies, and because you know now with water on great demand that it will become, the stock on island will be depleted. As it relates to goods being able to enter, I cannot speak to this. So what we are doing is ensuring that we do our part to ensure that St. Vincent have what is on high demand now, because of what's happening over there.
In terms of, somebody is inquiring again on the YouTube about locating family members that cannot. Can NaDMA locate family members that cannot be reached? Is there a way that NaDMA can assist Grenadians who would like to locate family in St. Vincent, or vice versa? Is that a possibility?
Grenadian family are we speaking specifically to Grenadians in St. Vincent?
It could be Grenadians in St. Vincent, or if I have a Vincentian cousin.
Vincentian family?
Yeah, okay. It depends. Is that a possibility?
We will have to work through NaDMA on that one. Being the domestic disaster management agency, the structure supposed to be able to do that. It's similar to one, because it is the same structure we have here in Grenada through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, that's the role that Foreign Affairs will play in this time when we have gone into disaster mode, being able to locate people. For example, if you have somebody that is a non-national, and they want to be able to go back to their home, just as how we have the consulates, and so here they can go to theirs. So in that case, we would have to work through NaDMA structure, which should have a rep that should be able to identify people. As it relates to how we get to them, I'm not sure on the domestic system, but yes, that should be able to happen. What we would have to do is communicate with our sister agency in St. Vincent, read that.
advisories coming from NaDMA, and I speak specifically of advisories re the ash fall and maybe other effects from the eruption of La Soufrière. There was conversation earlier this week about how often the NaDMA releases come out and how timely they are sent out as well. What can you tell us about how, when, if advisories are coming out from NaDMA, specifically for ash fall and things of that nature from La Soufrière?
Okay, so going into that, it means that I would have to go into the structure of NaDMA. Who is NaDMA? NaDMA is every essential technical support on islands, yes? So when we're talking ash fall, direction of ash, how we will be affected, dust and the other particles in the air, we know that NaDMA, to start with, is a coordinating unit, right? So all we do is rely on our experts to guide what we do. When we're speaking ash specifically and the advisories that were shared, so on Sunday, I know it was, everybody woke up to it and it had everybody buzzing, yes? The Met Office is the one that's responsible for sending out. They are the ones that share with us. That is who guide what is happening, ash advisories and so. So when we receive from Met, we will share with the general public, right? So the Met Office, and we know that ash flow in our area is dependent on wind. So that falls squarely within the Met Office's responsibilities, yeah? So they have been sending out ash advisories in the morning and in the evening. What to expect? The last thing I know, I heard we were at a low to medium chance, ash in our area. Because what's working for us, and I'm speaking here according to the experts, because remember, I am not the expert on this. I am not a meteorologist. I am basically a conduit. So we're sharing the information, yes? And that is who we are. And that's why we say NaDMA's structure is that of getting technical support and the technical expertise on the people who are the experts in that field. So when we receive from Met, I remember on Sunday morning when we were lit, we got up to it. And you see it on the vehicles, and it have ash in the place, and whoa, Blossom, they woke me up to it. But that's all right. I know it comes with the job, right? But we could not have sent out anything until we got confirmation from Met. So, and that is what I want the public to bear with us with, right? Met is not working on their own either. The Met Office has to be guided, or they are guided by the models, yes? So Met cannot just come out and say, this is going to happen, and that's not the case. Okay, Met is further advised by the bigger agencies that are sometimes all the way in Miami and so, that send out bulletins, and they will then analyze and make it and localize and share with us, right? So Met Office, yes, we have access to satellites. Do we in Grenada have any satellites? No, we don't. So it means that the sharing of information in this area of work is critical. And that is most of the times, that's the reason for the delay. Since after 7 in the morning, since before 7 Sunday morning, I spoke to the Met Office. They can explain to us what is possibly happening. But unless they don't receive the bulletins, the official bulletins, from their partner agencies who need to send it to them so they can analyze and then localize and send out to us, they cannot speak without having the proof to back it up. The science have to be able, they depend on science to work. And unless they cannot say that, you cannot confirm that this is what's happening, then it will be very reckless and irresponsible of anyone to come out and say, that is actually what is happening. So I know that, yes, we want it and we want it now, and we would love to have it now. But we have to remember, we are not as liberal as as many people call it, or many social media experts. We cannot, being the mandate that we have, we cannot be reckless in what we share. So while, yes, I know we continue, it happens, the same thing happens for the hurricane season, and we understand how you feel, but we have to be guided. We cannot say that this is happening, and then when we go back to get the confirmation, read the science, and we cannot say so. At the end of the day, remember, whatever we do have national implications. So it's not, and anytime Grenada were to say something, it means that the other islands everybody will be wondering what's happening here. The world is a global market, yes, it's very small. It's smaller now with access to the internet and technology. So we have to be very, very responsible in what we do. So yes, that's okay. We have to take it because it is what it is. But at the end of the day, we still have to follow the established protocols, information dissemination, and critical before we share is that of confirmation from our technical experts. So we ask you to bear with us. The information we will share, I know, yes, sometimes we are bogged down with what we do, but I know we have other partners that share the information. Party Grenada Nazim shares the information all the time. When I can do, then I send it to him to share on the platform. We go out, try it always on Facebook. Met is always sending it out. Sometimes when they send it, they're going to call me. Also, I'm seeing this happening here. We need to get this out now. When I do is because I would share and I would call my media partners to ensure that we get it out in the shortest possible time. So what we would encourage you to do is stay tuned to our media, our radio stations, our television stations, as we do have an excellent relationship with the media. Working in the media, being a part of the media, then we get to get it out. But I guess the positive for me here is that being a practicing media person, then it's like we continue to it's like working every day. It's like working every day. And I must say thank you to our media partners in this case. There's never a time that we'll call and say, I need to go on now, and we're not facilitated. Or I'm sending you this now. Please ensure that we make it out. So Blossom, this is my way of saying thank you from NaDMA. Thank you from NaDMA to GVN and all our media entities for always facilitating us. And now we don't even have to ask. The demand is there because we know we have to get the information out. So that is really the procedure that we must follow before we share information. Once it comes from Met, which is who are our technical experts, we can share, right? And don't always look for it on a NaDMA heading. Met is NaDMA. NAWASA is NaDMA. On Sunday, NAWASA issued a statement after we issued the advisory on the ash and the dust in the air. And it is NAWASA is a part of the structure, right? Saying that the water quality is not compromised and that it's safe to drink water. So it is important we know now that all of this will help educate the public on what we do, who we are, how we do it, and how we can better serve you. So when you understand what we do, then you'll be able to make suggestions on how we can even better improve what we do, because we know that you are our teachers, the examiners are the public, yes, and we are listening. We are listening. But at the end of the day, we still have to follow protocol given our mandate as the National Disaster Management Agency, and we have to be guided by someone. And remember, we always answer to others. We don't make the decision because everything that is related to disasters have national security implications. So we always have to be very cautious as to what we do, how we do it, and when we do it.
Somebody on the WhatsApp is asking, there is information circulating that Kikem Jenny is in the orange zone. Is that true?
No, and I want to use this opportunity now to allay that fear, to please, nothing so. We have no... Kikem Jenny is always monitored by UE Seismic, the same entity that's monitoring the volcano now in St. Vincent, who has been advising the St. Vincent government and NEMO as to when they should have issued the evacuation order, when you would be getting an eruption, what is likely to happen. And so far they have been on point. Yes, very, very trusted technicians at UE SRC. And I think we can say so about all our technical support. We have not received any information from UE Seismic telling us that we have increased activity at Kikem Jenny. There is nothing like that happening. Kikem Jenny is normal. There are no increase of threat levels. Nothing is going on at Kikem Jenny. Kikem Jenny continues to be an active submarine volcano, yes, but no increased activity since last refray has started. On Friday, we also shared some information from UE SRC, and I think that is what prompted the creation of that, because it was shared that there were increased activity at Kikem Jenny, and that's not the case. That's not the case. There are no increased activity at Kikem Jenny. We have not changed our threat level. We have not increased anything. It's normal. Kikem Jenny has not been showing any signs of increased activity. So for people on island and overseas, because I've gotten a number of messages and calls from family overseas being worried now. It's happening in St. Vincent. What's going on? There's nothing going on in Grenada. The only thing that's going on in Grenada is that we are lending a hand to our brothers and sisters in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, mounting a very successful relief operations where we're getting much needed items that are on demand to our brothers and sisters in St. Vincent and the Grenadines now in this disaster.
Somebody on Facebook is asking for clarity. The $1 million contribution the Prime Minister spoke about, that includes NaDMA's efforts, relief efforts as well, that is currently ongoing?
It is from the release that I saw, yes, it involves everything. So you do your cash, government will be doing. Of course, there will be monies that I know government will be sending off, but it will include that, yes.
And finally, before I let you run off, in terms of lessons coming out of what's going on in St. Vincent, what do you think are some of the biggest takeaways NaDMA has gotten so far in terms of responding to volcanic activity and responding to emergency situations, especially when it comes to Mother Nature? What are some of the biggest lessons NaDMA has gotten so far?
Blossom, it is quite a lesson for us. While, yes, we have it on paper, which is the protocol that guides volcanic eruption, which is the threat here on island, seeing an actual eruption, what's going on in St. Vincent, it is not one we get to go back into our protocol because, we always have to revise them over time. We're seeing firsthand now what it is we need to review, how we need to review it, because it is a learning experience for all of us. In addition to our national response and the protocols that guide what we do, it is also educating just us as citizens as to some of the things that we can expect and asking ourselves now the question that, remember, we are not immune to this. We are a volcanic island. We have Kikamjeni, that is the only submarine volcano in the Eastern Caribbean, yes? But we also have Mount St. Catherine. That is another volcano. We have a number of craters all over Grenada, the lagoon, the stadium, all craters. We are volcanic in nature also. So what's happening in St. Vincent is not unique to St. Vincent. It can happen to us too, because we are also volcanic. So what I will say now, what I think we need to do is ensure that we are better prepared. Now that we see what's happening, let's ask ourselves the question, if this were to happen in Grenada, how will we respond as an individual, as a nation, right? As I said, the plans are there. We will now get an opportunity to go back and review and alter and adapt now to what we see happening. As an individual, let's ask ourselves the question, are we ready? If this were to happen here, what will be my next move? What do I need to put? Some of the same principles that apply for the hurricane season, where you need to have your emergency kit. What will you put in it? Because remember, going into shelters does not mean that the shelters, because that's one of the things that we see now in St. Vincent. NaDMA issued a call since December when the effusive eruption started. Get ready, have your stuff together. Be ready to go into the shelters with the things that you would need. But on the last, a lot of people moved, and you recognize some of them did not even have clothes to move with. Some people are hoping now that, and that's the reason why you're seeing a lot of videos coming out of our on social media, some of the things needed in our shelters. It is because some of the people there were not prepared. So it gives us now an opportunity to better prepare for the hazard that can happen at any time. What we do know is, with the monitoring system that we have in place, that we will get early notice. Early notice is one thing. You can have the best of plans, but if the people who you're planning for don't respond appropriately, then your plan will fall through. And we've seen that in St. Vincent, where you have to know, instead of when the evacuation order was given, people did not move, that our first responders now have to risk their lives to go in and try to get people out of the danger zone. And you put a lot more on an already pressured system to be able to have to do rescue when you should be doing relief and other essential things as part of this disaster management process.
Somebody on Facebook is asking if there are plans to have communities playing a bigger part or a better part in disaster management.
Yes, we are working on reviewing and reviving our district committees, which is where our and this is instrumental in what we do, because as we always say, the 13 to 15 people at the Secretariat cannot mount a national response. It's more in the community than anything else, than up at Fort Frederick, and then when we move across to Montjaloux. It is a lot more than what's happening up at the office, yes? What you would have there are the key players. But if you don't have hands on the ground, which is where our district structure plays a critical role, then all that we're doing is spinning top in mud. So we are working on reviving our district committees. And I make a call here today to people who maybe you might have been a retiree or you have some extra time and you want to give back. Call us at the office. This now is a reality. It's a reality check. It is one. I remember when we did the first interview with Mr. Peters. It is one of the things that we will be focusing on this year, revamping and strengthening our system. But we know volunteers. It is a heavily volunteer system, and we know that in order for us to do it, we must be deep into our community. So yes, it is part of one of the things that we'll be focusing heavily on this year. Reviving, bringing new life, strength, adding, as you know, when you proper a banana tree, adding some support to that of our community structure, our district committees structure.
All right, and as we close, a reminder of how we can contribute. In addition to water, what else are some of the materials or the supplies that are needed and where we can make the drop-off or the arrangements for the drop-offs?
So some of the other items needed, water tanks, the 800 and 1,000 gallons, sleeping cots, sleeping mats, tent kitchens. They're also looking for the portable potties. We're looking for things like blankets, a lot of those, dry foods, a lot of dry food. When we say dry food, we're talking things like the canned foods. Please ensure that they're not expired. Check the expiration date before you send them off. Also, things like cereals and so. A lot of water. I cannot stop stressing the need for water because that is an essential commodity. That, in addition to that, Blossom, I think I would have sent you the list so you can share it, you can check it and continue to share it throughout the morning with your listeners and viewers. A lot of that. Also, disinfectants and so, cleaning stuff. They will need a lot of that because we know that after this period has ended, the eruption period has ended, the cleanup is going to be a major part of what has to happen with the amount of ash that's all over St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Then the cleanup will be astronomical. So the disinfectants and so cleaning, the cleaning stuff, they will need a lot of that. So let us see how we can donate. And remember, if you have the big, a lot of stuff to the bulk that we speak to send off, call us at the office on 440-8390, 8391, and 8392, and we will tell you what best to do, whether you drop it off at NaDMA and then we get it to the port, or you drop it off at the warehouse. Our drop-off point is the warehouse. I know a number of people have been making calls for parish drop-off points. What we are working out is whether or not we would assign a day when we tell you we will be at that location in the parish to collect, so then we don't have to stockpile anywhere. But we come, you have your items, we cut them away, and then we get them off to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So any questions whatsoever, call us on 440-8390, 8391, 8392, and we will share all that information with you. Thank you again, Grenada, for the remarkable response. I know there will be many more as we continue to do this relief drive for St. Vincent now. We encourage you, please, to continue to give. Give. I know we've been given generously. Let us continue to do so. This relief effort has only just begun. So let us do what we can to assist and help those in need. All those who have already donated, we say thank you. We know that there are many more to come. Please, thank you so much for what we have been able to do for our brothers and sisters in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Thank you very much, Ms. Crosby. I'll let you run off now. Appreciate your information sharing, and there are a number of people that are sending you kudos, including on the Facebook and WhatsApp, for the information that you've shared with us this morning. Very informative, so keep it up.
Just before you run off, Blossom, one thing, a number of people have been asking how it is that they can, if you want to leave, there isn't mass evacuation, but if you want to leave St. Vincent, let's say to come to Grenada, you have family here, then what is the process? What we advise you to do is call NaDMA. Call NaDMA and organize with them. So give them the information. I know there is a hotline. Blossom, I will send you that information once we get off this platform. There is a hotline. Let your family in St. Vincent call the hotline, share the information. When NaDMA gets to the point where they have enough names They will then try to facilitate the process, organize with a vessel to see how they can get you to Grenada. But what is important to note is that because of the COVID protocols that are still very much in place here in Grenada, it is important that we have the information from NaDMA, because we will need to activate our screening and testing system here in Grenada to receive the people. So it is important that you go through NaDMA, and so that they can alert us as to how many people coming, the vessel coming, and we can accommodate. Because remember, the same quarantine precautionary protocol is still in place. So we have to be mindful of this, the testing and everything else that has to happen to ensure that as we assist, we still continue to ensure that we maintain our COVID status.
Has NaDMA asked for volunteers as yet, manpower, to help with the cleanup efforts as yet?
Not as yet. We're still having a number of the ash still coming out. Then cleaning is almost like cleaning to dirty again. So they have not. I don't think the response has gotten to that stage yet, and they will be advised accordingly by the USRC monitoring team up there as to when they would get to that stage. When that happens, then we know that there will be a call then for people, but not yet, because they are still well within the eruption phase of the volcano.
Understood. Thank you very much, Ms. Crosby. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. And we'll continue to keep in touch as the relief efforts continue. The shipment leaves today, you said?
There is a shipment leaving today with tropical shipping. You have until 3 o'clock. We have about 3 o'clock to have those containers off to the port. So you can drop off. You have items now. You can drop them off down at SSU camp. Or if you're not too sure if it's bulk, then you can call us at the office and we will tell you what best to do. But we do have a shipment leaving today. We had a number of, we must say thank you to Tropical Shipping and all the other companies that have been supporting this effort. We have a number of 20-foot containers that will be packed, or is actually started since yesterday, been packed and will be leaving Grenada up to St. Vincent today through Tropical Shipping. So, and all the other boat owners and so vessel owners that have been calling and volunteering their service to make the trip blossom, no cost to Grenada, just ensuring that they get there and bring up the much needed items. We say thank you. We welcome the assistance. And as soon as we collect, we ship off every opportunity we have through vessels or so that we'll be moving. We ensure that we have something on it to make sure that St. Vincent has some of the things that they need.
Agreed. Thank you so much, Ms. Crosby. Enjoy your day.
Most welcome, Blossom. Thank you again.
No problem. Let's take a quick break and then we're going to come back and wrap up this morning's program. There are some questions I see people asking on the social media. I see how best I can answer them. This is To The Point on Classic and GBN. We'll be right back.
There is value all around us: spiritual, therapeutic, physical, economic, the energy, the power. An ocean of endless possibilities. The ocean is there for our enjoyment, for the enrichment of our lives, for our nutritional needs and food security. But first, we need to care for our ocean, conserve its resources for generations to come, or else we could lose it all.
This message brought to you by the OECS Commission with funding from the government of Norway. Remlin, tackling ocean pollution from turf to surf.
Can you spend wisely and have more savings? Yes, you can. Learn more with Money Matters on GBN Television. The Money Matters series explores 12 top ways to save money. In this series, you would learn how to save by setting up your spending money right. Save on vehicle loans, home improvement projects, your credit cards, and even on prescription drugs. Tune in every Tuesday morning at 7:15 for Money Matters, a lighthearted conversation with financial planner Tali Francis. Follow the rebroadcast on Thursdays at 6:50 p.m. and on Sundays at 7:30 p.m. Money Matters is a financial literacy public awareness program sponsored by Republic Bank Grenada.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome on your blood heart so bad now. My God, a man tried to sell me. I went down here to do something. A man tried to deal me. Not this thing, man. Yeah, he wanted to deal me and
Who property you come out in?
No, it's not that. I tell you, I had to go and do something. Somebody asked me to go and drop something for it. So when I go, I see the man, and I know the man trying to sell me. He want to take me soul.
He damn good. Should I sell you?
Good. No, that man does deal? No, man. Watch. I know the man does deal, but what I say is, where I went there, I expect the man try to do that there.
Partner, you want to go and see your light burning.
No. The man try to deal me. You want to take me soul. Folks, let me tell you something. This Friday of Week Culture, I will tell all you who tried to sell me and what they tried to sell me for. So make sure and join us Friday on Week Culture. All you careful. You are real dealers in the place.
They should have sell you. I don't know why you're here though. You should have been sold for real.
14.
Welcome back to The Point. It is now 13 minutes on to the hour of 10 o'clock. Let me see if I can answer some of the questions. We had to let our guest go, Miss Crosby, to get back to the relief efforts and the communication with the NaDMA equivalent in St. Vincent, aka NEMO. So she just spared us some time. So let me see if I can get to some questions. Right. YouTube. Somebody on YouTube is asking, do you have to take the vaccine in order to come to Grenada? This is something that I would have to confirm. Let me tell you why. When the evacuation order was issued last week, Thursday, one of the MPs in St. Vincent said, if you are going into, and he said it on his live, he was doing live broadcast, Facebook Live, with the evacuation orders from the communities in the red zone. And he said in one of the lives that once you're going into a government-run shelter, then you would need to be vaccinated. However, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves on Monday on Beyond the Headlines said that it is not true. You don't have to be vaccinated because this is an emergency situation, and that is not a stipulation. Prime Minister Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell-Loss, I don't want to misquote the nation's leader, but they did say that it would be welcomed if they could, and if evacuees will receive their first dose of the vaccine at least. But I'm not sure if it is mandatory. So I'm not sure if they have to get the vaccine if they have to be evacuated. It's also good to note as well that people are reluctant to evacuate or to leave the country that they've grown to love and that is home, and where they've built their lives over the past years. They are reluctant to leave. So evacuation or evacuating from St. Vincent does not seem to be something that would happen, at least not in the near future. Everybody is battening down and preparing for the cleanup whenever Le Soufre decides to go back to sleep. So at least that's not much of a worry in terms of evacuation. Somebody else was asking something on the Facebook. Somebody on Facebook inquired about, all right, do we have Grenadians going to St. Vincent to keep the peace? Because we've been hearing about crimes that are taking place as people leave their houses to go to shelters. In yesterday's news conference facilitated by the Royal Grenada Police Force, Commissioner of Police Edwin Martin stated that Grenadian officers are ready and willing to assist. I'm trying to remember specifically if he said we are going up. But I know there are regional countries that have sent security forces, including Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, Commissioner Martin did say we will be sending up Grenadian officers to assist. Because like the Facebooker said, it is a concern with criminals. During Beyond the Headlines as well on Monday, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves stated that over the weekend, they arrested at least two people who were attempting to break in and steal from homes that have been evacuated in the red and orange zones. So while some people are concerned about safety, others are thinking about criminal activities, and Prime Minister Gonsalves said at least two people, and that's two that they know of. So it could be taking place that people are doing these things when they should be thinking about safety. So countries are sending security forces. Trinidad sent up 50 of their officers. Today's Thursday, so that was on Monday and Tuesday. I believe they arrived on Tuesday to assist with security efforts. I'm trying to see how best I can answer some of the questions based on the knowledge that I have. Let me go to WhatsApp. Have you considered what would happen if our power, if or when Kikemjeni erupts and creates a tsunami, all gone as is a valley close to the sea? Let's knock on wood that it doesn't happen. Kikemjeni is so far behaving herself. So let's knock on wood and let's not think about the negative. No, I have not considered what would happen to our power. I like thinking positively, and my positive thinking is that Kikemjeni will relax herself. Short of the story. Okay, that is, let me see, any more on Facebook? Good morning, Tonya St. Louis Lawrence. Have yourself a blessed day, love. Somebody on Facebook says, I am a Grenadian in St. Vincent, and if I want to come home, I will do the COVID test before I come home. I commend you for at least, well, you need to get the PCR test before you come home anyway. The COVID-19 protocols are still in place despite the circumstances, despite the emergency, the situation being an emergency. The protocols are still in place. You still have to get tested. You still have to be quarantined. What we are uncertain about is the vaccine administering. So yes, you still have to get your test, and I commend you for being willing to take the test before you come home. Continue to stay safe. I note earlier in the program you said it is bright and sunny in the green zone, so continue to stay safe. And I wish you and your family, your loved ones, all the best in St. Vincent as we continue to go through this period, the eruption of La Soufrière. Do you know if any Vincentians already arrived in Grenada by now? Not not officially. Note my words, not officially. You just never know, what could happen considering the proximity Grenada, P.T. Martinique has with St. Vincent, but not officially. At least I have not heard officially of Vincentians getting into Grenada. Yes, Miss Jeremiah, praying is the key, not knocking on wood. But I mean, it's just a saying, no need to, what I'm saying. All right. How many volcano veins Grenada has? I don't know about the veins. But the last I saw, I believe Grenada has 3 volcanoes: Kikemjeni, Kikemjack, not 3, 4. Kikemjeni, Kikemjack, Mount St. Catherine, as the active ones, I believe it was, and then we still have craters remember Grenada, as many of the other Caribbean islands, are volcanic islands, volcanic in nature. Dominica has a lot. Based on the map that I saw, was it earlier this week, of volcanoes in the region. So I don't know specifically how many veins we have. I would see if I can find that information for you. Okay, that is all the time I have this morning. Somebody on YouTube, they want to leave, but because of government saying that they have to take the vaccine, they are staying at their yard. I am told that the cruise ship has no one on them. Can you tell me if that is true? According to Prime Minister Gonzalez, they're not forcing anyone to take the vaccine considering the emergency situation. They had organized with cruise ships to chart evacuees to different Caribbean islands. I remember Grenada, Antigua, St. Lucia, Barbados being places that they can take evacuees, but because of the low number of people that may want to evacuate, there's no need for the large cruise ships. So Prime Minister Gonzalez says if they need to evacuate people from the island, they would charter smaller ships if need be. But for the large cruise ships that they originally made arrangements with, the numbers are not large enough for the need for the cruise ships. So if evacuation takes place, they will charter smaller vessels to take them to different islands. It is now 5 minutes to 10 o'clock. It's time for me to make way for mid-morning buzz. Enjoy the rest of your thankful Thursday. Let's continue to keep these Vincentians in our thoughts and prayers. Like Miss Crosby said, the next shipment to St. Vincent, the deadline would be around 3 p.m. Contact NaDMA 440-3890. 8390, 8391, 8392. Contact NaDMA to make arrangements for drop-off and or pickup of the supplies that you may want to ship off. Thank you to all those who have done so already. The Media Workers Association of Grenada sent out a shipment yesterday. I know Rotary is working. Kudos to Flo, Mikey Hutchinson, and everyone else that have contributed. Mount Pure Water, Glenelg, thank you guys so much. Let's continue to do what we can to help them, especially in this time of need. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. I'll be back tomorrow morning, God willing. Bye-bye, everybody.